How about that volatility on what's usually the most boring market on earth, precious metals? Wow. Good evening and welcome to iBanker News tonight, Monday, February 2nd, 2026. If you've been following us since we started last week, you know we love silver and we truly believe the fair price today is well over $3,000 an ounce, the fair price. The spot price is far different, but we still believe in silver and the real stuff, not paper. That hasn't changed. In modern portfolio theory, silver is an asset that is categorized as a tail risk hedge, a real asset, a real store of value, something you never sell at spot, and certainly nothing to expect major growth from, right? Because major growth in silver means paper assets have fallen and real assets are now a glaring truth. Rapid precious metals price rises means the paper promises are no longer believed. Perhaps that is why central banks, who would know first and who would know best, have been purchasing enormous amounts of the barbarous relic. A tail risk asset is something you want to have when paper promises fail, but you have to be liquid or be vulnerable to selling something dear in a panic. Not good for maximizing value. Silver has been through several millennia, thousands of years and countless business cycles. It will be here long past all of us. But what about when banks have balance sheet exposure and need cash now and want fiat, lots of it? What if you find yourself needing liquidity and fast? And what if you have inside the bank suddenly becomes inaccessible and your mortgage is called because it's either the bank or it's you? Here's a hint. The bank does not care how many perfect payments you've made, how good your track record is. They want theirs when they want theirs, and they will lean on you like a bookie collecting a debt. History has many examples. It screams at us today, hey buddy, I'm talking to you. Tonight, we listen. We travel back in time nearly 100 years to revisit one of those many lessons. Lessons our grandparents learned well, our parents kind of half learned, and we were never taught, maybe. In 1932, one of the richest, most respected, and most powerful men in America was hiding in Europe. Broke, disgraced, and blamed improperly for a national catastrophe. 3 years earlier, banks called him the safest man in the country. Same man, same assets, same system. So what changed? Meet Samuel Insull. Nobody remembers Samuel Insull anymore. He was an immigrant, a protege of Thomas Edison. He helped build Commonwealth Edison and, in doing so, helped wire modern America. Before him, total darkness. Because of him, the electricity you are consuming right now watching this is because of that man. No joke. He didn't speculate. He didn't gamble. He built utilities. Electricity, power plants, transmission lines, things that physically exist. People don't stop using electricity in recessions. Copper wire doesn't care about headlines. Insull represented permanence. At his peak, adjusted for today, his empire would be worth tens of billions of dollars. Banks begged to lend him money. Families trusted him with their savings. And the trust made sense because the assets were real. But here's the part that matters. By the late 1920s, Insull didn't own just power plants. He owned holding companies. Other holding companies that owned utilities. Paper claims stacked higher and higher above a physical reality. Stock issued to buy more stock, dividends paid with borrowed money, loans backed not by turbines, but by confidence. The power plants were real. The valuations were not. Sound familiar? As long as paper could be exchanged for cash, nobody cared. Got that? Because once paper stops converting cleanly into reality, the whole thing unravels. The crash didn't destroy the power plants. The light stayed on. What failed was the translation layer, paper into money. Banks didn't want infrastructure, they wanted liquidity. And paper assets only work when somebody else is willing to honor them. Insull could point to physical assets and say, there, that exists. The system said, that's not what we're settling in. Reality kept functioning. Paper collapsed anyway. That's the lesson of 1929. You can own real things and still be wiped out when the financial system disconnects from them. Now fast forward. Silver is volatile, unstable, refusing to behave. The wrong question is, why is silver moving? The right question is, why is silver disconnecting? In today's market, 1 ounce of physical silver can have dozens, sometimes hundreds of paper claims attached to it. Check out our other video talking about March delivery. Futures contracts, ETFs, unallocated accounts. Claims on silver, not silver itself. And here's the tell. Mints and smelters ran out of physical silver while prices fell? The physical thing became scarce. The paper thing went down? That only happens when paper is no longer anchored to reality. Does it sound familiar? Just like 1929, the underlying asset still exists. And just like 1929, the price can collapse anyway. Back then, power plants still produced electricity, but Insull's paper empire imploded. Today, silver still exists, but paper contracts contracts can be created infinitely. Paper doesn't fail because reality disappears. It fails because claims multiply faster than the thing they claim to represent. This is why gold and silver are called tail risk assets. They're not bets on disaster. They're not growth stories. They're insurance against moments when paper stops behaving like a receipt and starts behaving like a suggestion. Samuel Insull believed real assets guaranteed safety. What he underestimated was how quickly paper can detach from them. Silver isn't predicting collapse. It's signaling strain. The same kind of history has been seen before, and history suggests it's worth noticing. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and if we have earned it, share, like, comment, and subscribe. We would really like to see what lessons your grandparents taught you and how we can all benefit from those today. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and get liquid, and as always, build that stack!